Hey folks, welcome back to the Sedgwick Jimmy channel. We're certainly glad to see you, and today we're looking at the pre-Columbian Norse exploration of North America. They were the first Europeans to step foot in the New World, yet it's rarely noted in American history. Why did they come here and why did they leave? Well, that's what we're here to talk about, so let's get into it. They were basically Vikings. They were people from Scandinavia and Northern Europe known in various regions as Northmen, Norsemen, Ashmen, Danes, or Rus, and most people know them through their incorrectly horned helmets, their mythology, and Beowulf. In the late 700s, they began an aggressive expansion, and we're not 100% sure why. Some believe it was partially in revenge for Christian invasions, or to introduce foreign women, as the ruling class was known to be ruling class was known to be polygamous, or possibly because it was the firstborn culture and the other siblings needed a way to seek their own lands and fortune. Whatever the reasons for expansion, expand they did, sailing as far as Northern Africa and North America, as we're here to discuss. And their first stop to the New World was Iceland. Iceland was discovered by accident by a man named Nadod, who was blown off course and landed on the coast. You'll find that this becomes a pattern. He named it Snowland, but that didn't last. The man considered the first permanent settler of Iceland was Ingolfur Arnarsson, who, according to stories, threw 2 pillars overboard and vowed to build a settlement wherever they were found. And when they finally came across them, they founded a settlement known as Reykjavik, which still stands as the capital of Iceland today. By the way, Iceland was named by an earlier explorer, Iceland was named by an earlier explorer when he saw drift ice on the fjords during a colder than normal winter. Sometime after this date, the date is argued as ranging from 876 to 932, another Norse ship was blown off course and new lands were spotted by Gunnbjorn Ulfsson. This is where Eric the Red comes in. Eric the Red, or Eric Thorvaldsson, was the son of Thorvald Asvaldsson, whose great uncle had been Nadod, remember him? Around 960, Asvaldsson had been exiled from his home in Norway because of, and I quote, some killings, leading him to settle with his son Eric in Iceland. Eric, in 982, was also exiled, this time for 3 years from Iceland after the revenge killing of Eliolf the Foul and some trouble with some beings of significance that his father had brought from Norway. After an uproar about Eric killing several people to reclaim his property, the people assembled a group known as the Thing, yes, that's what they called it, who determined Eric's punishment. So, being exiled, he headed west to a land that had already been the home to a failed settlement, which he called Greenland, knowing full well that it wasn't particularly green, but hey, it sounded good and would attract people. And this is where Leif Eriksson comes in. The first European to set eyes on North America was Bjarni Herjolfsson, who was, you guessed it, blown off course and spotted land off the coast of Canada. He relayed this information to Eric the Red's son, Leif Eriksson, who led an expedition to the unknown land. There they found 3 lands: Helluland, the land of flat rocks; Markland, or the land of forests, and once they found a mild enough climate and a large enough amount of salmon, they set up camp. While exploring the land, they came across ample amounts of vines and grapes, earning the land its name, Vinland, the land of vines. This camp became a settlement called Leif's Booth, which is now considered by many to be Lonza Meadows, the first major European settlement in the New World, in modern-day Newfoundland. It was Leif's brother Thorvald who first came into contact with what they called Skrelings, the indigenous peoples of the region. Thorvald came across 9 of them sleeping and killed 8, the 9th fleeing to his people and returning with a responsive force. Thorvald was killed in this attack. Eventually, peace was made with the Skrelings, and trade for furs began. Furs and timber were very much needed in Greenland. Eventually, the weakening of their place in Europe, the climate becoming more harsh during the Little Ice Age, and continuing skirmishes with the locals led to the Norse abandoning their settlements in North America. And only the location of one, Lonza Meadows, is known for sure. And that's just gonna about do it for our quick look at the Norse expansion into North America, much of which you can read about in the Viking sagas, something I recommend reading if you're interested in the oral history of the Norse. And if you like this video, why don't you give us a like? If you want to see more, give us a subscribe. And if you have anything to add or any ideas for future episodes, why don't you head on down in the comments and let us know. We appreciate you watching and hope to see you here for more Sedgwick Jimmy in the future. Come check it out.